Good day. Today, we're going to discuss something very important, something that concerns the health of each of us, especially as we get older. We'll be talking about your daily routines, those moments that seem ordinary and insignificant. Yet sometimes, hidden risks lie precisely in these small details. We are here to talk about your well-being and how to protect yourself from a serious event like a stroke. The statistics we often hear can sound like distant figures. Every 40 seconds, someone suffers a stroke, and every few minutes, a stroke claims a life. But why do we rarely consider that these events might be connected to our simplest actions? For instance, to how you use your bathroom. Yes, that's right. Those very habits that have become part of your daily routine, how you stand up, how you breathe, how you manage your hygiene, can subtly, yet significantly influence your stroke risk, especially for those over 55. Many doctors rarely touch upon this topic, yet research has long pointed to this connection. Certain habits can affect your blood pressure, the elasticity of your blood vessels, and the level of oxygen reaching your brain. Today, we will gently walk through 7 such habits together. We'll start with those that seem least dangerous and gradually move to the most critical. Each one carries the potential to quietly elevate your stroke risk. This isn't speculation, it's information backed by scientific research, with references linked in the description below this video. So, let's begin with habit number 7, which might already be impacting your well-being each morning. Habit number 7, rushing morning urination without fully emptying the bladder. This might seem like a minor detail, but it matters significantly. Imagine you're in a hurry in the morning, and you quickly relieve yourself without taking a moment to ensure your bladder is truly empty. Studies show that this incomplete emptying can raise your systolic blood pressure, the top number, by up to 30 millimeters of mercury. For your heart and blood vessels, that's not a small amount. When your bladder isn't fully empty, your body subconsciously remains in a state of subtle tension, activating your sympathetic nervous system. This state keeps blood pressure elevated, slightly constricts blood vessels, and limits oxygen flow to your brain. Over time, this sustained tension increases the likelihood of vascular damage, which can contribute to stroke risk. This is especially relevant for individuals over 65 because the muscle responsible for completely emptying the bladder can weaken with age. So even if you feel you're done, some urine might remain. Research indicates that residual urine in older adults is a common occurrence, often unnoticed until complications arise. Chronic urine retention forces your kidneys to work harder, affecting hormonal processes that elevate blood pressure and accelerate arterial aging. Your body is constantly under silent yet persistent pressure. So what can be done about this? Don't rush. After the first void, pause briefly, count to 10, and then try again. This simple method, known as double voiding, can significantly reduce bladder pressure. If you, as a man, have an enlarged prostate, discussing alpha blockers with your doctor, which relax bladder muscles, might be beneficial. And for women, particularly after childbirth or during menopause, pelvic floor exercises can be wonderfully helpful. Habit number 6, brushing teeth only once a day or skipping it at night. At first glance, this might seem entirely unrelated to stroke. However, scientific evidence indicates otherwise. Your mouth can be an unexpected starting point for stroke development, often without any obvious symptoms. Researchers at the University of South Carolina found that older adults who brushed their teeth only once a day had a 70% higher stroke risk compared to those who brushed twice. Skipping that nighttime brush nearly doubles the danger. Here's what happens. When you don't brush at night, plaque accumulates on your teeth and gums, teeming with bacteria while you sleep. These bacteria don't stay confined to your mouth. They can slip into your bloodstream through tiny breaks in your gums, especially if you have gingivitis or periodontitis, conditions affecting over half of adults over 65. Once in your bloodstream, these bacteria ignite inflammation in your arteries. This inflammation makes your blood thicker, stickier, and more prone to forming clots, the primary cause of ischemic strokes.
This isn't just a theory. A 2019 study published in Stroke, the official journal of the American Heart Association, revealed that individuals with gum disease were twice as likely to experience a stroke, even after accounting for other factors like smoking, blood pressure, and age. This demonstrates the potent impact oral bacteria can have. They literally attack the delicate inner lining of your arteries, a condition known as endothelial dysfunction. This lining is your brain's first line of defense, and once it's compromised, blood clots can form rapidly. Why is this so crucial in the context of bathroom habits? Because how often, and when you brush your teeth truly matter. Many older adults brush only once a day, typically in the morning, but this overlooks the 8 hours of bacterial growth that occurs while you sleep. At night, your saliva production decreases, creating an ideal environment for bacteria to flourish. Therefore, brushing before bed is just as, if not more important than brushing in the morning. Also, use a soft bristled toothbrush and apply gentle pressure. Brushing too vigorously can create more tiny cuts in your gums, offering bacteria a direct pathway into your arteries. And a surprising detail, your toothpaste matters too. The Journal of Periodontal Research found that toothpaste containing stannous fluoride reduced stroke-linked inflammation markers by over 40% in older adults. Switching to an anti-gingivitis paste can offer widespread benefits beyond just your gums.
Don't forget your tongue. Bacterial colonies can form thick coatings there overnight. Use a tongue scraper, not just your brush. It removes significantly more volatile sulfur compounds. And flossing, it's not optional. Older adults who floss daily have a 24% lower stroke risk, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Flossing removes the very plaque that allows bacteria to enter your bloodstream. Habit number 5, using the toilet first thing while dehydrated. This is a quiet yet potentially dangerous habit. Many older adults are unaware of the risks of urinating right after waking up without first drinking any water. The scientific basis for this is concerning. When you wake up, your body is often in its most dehydrated state of the day. Your blood is thicker, your arteries are more constricted, and your heart is already working harder to pump that denser blood through potentially narrowed vessels. Now add straining during urination, and you have a potentially hazardous combination. A study in The Lancet revealed that stroke risk increases by over 80% in the early morning hours, and dehydration plays a significant role in this. Overnight, you lose water through breathing, sweating, and urination, which reduces your blood volume. When you rush to the toilet before rehydrating, the sudden change in position, coupled with low blood volume and straining, can cause a dangerous drop in cerebral perfusion, meaning your brain isn't receiving enough blood. For older adults with existing plaque or arterial narrowing, this drop can trigger an ischemic stroke. But there's more. Researchers at the University of Tokyo found that morning dehydration can increase platelet aggregation by 30%. In simpler terms, your blood clots faster, and blood clots are a leading cause of strokes. So when you wake up, rush to the toilet and strain to urinate with a dehydrated body, you're placing immense pressure on your heart, brain, and blood vessels. The truly challenging part is that older adults often have a blunted thirst reflex. Your body might not send strong signals telling you to drink even when you're significantly dehydrated. This is a key reason why strokes are more common in the morning for older adults. It's not a coincidence, but often a result of a less than ideal morning routine. What's a gentle way to fix this? Before you even leave your bed, drink at least 300 to 500 milliliters of water. Keep a glass or bottle by your bedside and make it the very first thing you consume. This immediately improves blood viscosity and helps prevent sudden drops in brain perfusion when you stand. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that drinking water before standing can reduce orthostatic hypotension, a common cause of falls and strokes, by up to 61% in adults over 65. If you ever feel lightheaded while urinating in the morning, that's a significant warning sign that your brain isn't getting enough oxygen. Sit down on the toilet, avoid straining, and take slow, deep breaths. If your vision narrows or your ears ring after standing or urinating, it's not just getting older, it's a potential stroke warning sign. Habit number 4,
taking long hot showers in the morning without a cool-down phase. A long hot shower can feel incredibly comforting, especially for stiff joints, and it seems like a lovely way to start the day. However, for older adults, this routine, particularly without a cool-down phase, could be increasing your stroke risk in unexpected ways. Here's the science behind it. Hot showers cause rapid vasodilation, meaning your blood vessels open wide, which quickly drops your blood pressure. If you're already on blood pressure medication, this effect can be even more pronounced. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that older adults exposed to hot water for just 15 minutes experienced a drop in systolic blood pressure of over 20 millimeters of mercury. While a drop in blood pressure might sound good, consider what happens next. When you step out of that hot shower into cooler air, your blood vessels suddenly constrict again.
This rebound, called vasoconstriction, causes your blood pressure to surge back up, often in a chaotic way, as your body tries to balance temperature and pressure simultaneously. During this chaotic phase, if there's any plaque buildup or arterial narrowing, your risk of triggering a clot sharply increases. In fact, a 2015 study from Finland found that people who regularly took long hot showers without cooling down were twice as likely to suffer early morning strokes, especially those over 65. This is because the rapid shift from hot to cold and the dramatic pressure swings create shear stress on your blood vessels. This stress can rupture weak spots in artery walls or dislodge plaques, much like shaking a soda can that's already cracked. Eventually, something gives way. It gets a little more intricate. Hot water also causes you to sweat, but you might not notice it in the steamy bathroom as it evaporates. This hidden sweating can further dehydrate you, thickening your blood and increasing your clot risk. Combine this with the cycle of vasodilation and constriction, and your arteries are undergoing a significant challenge before you even leave the house. So how can you safely enjoy your shower? You don't have to skip it, but you absolutely must end with 30 seconds of lukewarm or cool water. This simple cool-down helps stabilize your blood vessels, regulate pressure, and ease your body's transition to room temperature. Research published in Temperature suggests that this simple cool-down can reduce the risk of post-shower dizziness, stroke, and falls in older adults by over 50%. Also, avoid standing still under the water for too long. This causes blood to pool in your legs, reducing circulation to your brain. Keep moving gently, shifting your feet, and always sit down on a shower bench or ledge if you feel even slightly lightheaded. Habit number 3, straining during bowel movements. This habit is incredibly common, and tragically, it can be deadly. Over 40% of older adults over 65 experience chronic constipation, and many strain intensely just to pass stool. But here's the stark truth. Straining on the toilet doesn't just raise blood pressure, it can literally rupture a blood vessel in your brain. A pivotal study in Stroke, the official journal of the American Heart Association, found that intense straining during bowel movements increases the risk of intracerebral hemorrhage, a bleeding stroke, which is the most dangerous kind, by over 300%. Why? Because when you push too hard, you engage something called the Valsalva maneuver. This is when you hold your breath and bear down, similar to lifting something very heavy. This action causes a sharp, immediate spike in blood pressure, sometimes jumping by over 50 millimeters of mercury in just seconds. While a healthy young person's body can typically handle such a surge, for older adults with stiffer arteries or plaque buildup, this sudden burst can be catastrophic. One tiny weak spot in a vessel wall, and it can burst instantly, with no warning and often no second chance. The danger doesn't stop there. Straining also increases intracranial pressure, meaning the pressure inside your skull rises while you're on the toilet. Combined with rising blood pressure and decreased oxygen flow, this creates a perfect storm that can lead to a stroke in a single episode, not just over years. What makes this habit even more hazardous is the typical toilet setup. Most older adults sit on a standard height toilet, but this position actually works against your body's natural design.
When your knees are at a 90-degree angle, your colon becomes kinked, making it harder to pass stool and forcing you to strain. However, by raising your feet, perhaps with a footstool or in a squatting position, your colon straightens, significantly reducing the need to push. How can we gently adjust this? Hydration is paramount. Aim for at least 1.5 to 2 liters of water daily. Incorporate fiber-rich foods like chia seeds, oats, or prunes, as they help soften stool. Research from the University of Iowa shows that prunes can improve bowel regularity by up to 60%. Movement also plays a role. A simple 10-minute morning walk increases gut motility, the wave-like motion that helps move food along your intestines. The more your gut moves naturally, the less you'll need to strain. Also, avoid sitting on the toilet for extended periods. This can increase the risk of hemorrhoids and, perhaps more importantly, signals your brain to get comfortable in a high-pressure state. The goal is to get in, take care of your business, and get out efficiently.
If you've been finding this information helpful, please consider hitting the like button. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss more valuable health insights like this. We're committed to bringing you science-backed information that can truly make a difference in your life. Habit number 2, sitting too long on the toilet, scrolling your phone. This is something almost everyone has done. Bringing your phone into the bathroom, scrolling through news, checking messages, or just browsing. But for older adults, this seemingly innocent habit is far from harmless. It subtly increases your stroke risk in multiple ways. Here's why. Firstly, sitting still for extended periods, especially in the seated toilet position, reduces blood flow to your brain. When your knees are bent and your lower abdomen is compressed, venous return slows down, meaning blood from your lower body doesn't circulate properly. This leads to blood pooling in your legs and a drop in brain perfusion. A study in neuroepidemiology found that adults over 60 who remained seated in a static position for more than 15 minutes experienced a significant drop in cerebral blood flow by up to 17%. Your brain requires a steady supply of blood and oxygen to prevent clot formation and vascular injury, and when this flow drops, stroke risk rises quickly. If you combine this with any straining or postural issues we discussed earlier, the risk multiplies. But there's more to it than just sitting. The phone itself poses a problem. Why? Because scrolling triggers what's called sympathetic nervous system activation. Essentially, your stress response kicks in. Even if you're reading something mild, your brain perceives screen light and input as stimulation, which can elevate your heart rate, tighten blood vessels, and cause blood pressure spikes, particularly in older adults with pre-existing cardiovascular conditions. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Psychology showed that just 10 minutes of phone scrolling raised heart rate and systolic blood pressure in older adults by up to 15%. So while you're sitting still, potentially reducing blood flow to your brain, you're also increasing internal pressure through mental stimulation. This combination can be profoundly dangerous. And it gets even more concerning. Most people tilt their heads sharply downwards while looking at their phones on the toilet. This posture compresses the vertebral arteries, two crucial vessels that supply blood directly to your brainstem and cerebellum, areas that control vital functions like balance, heartbeat, and breathing. Tilting your head too far for too long literally squeezes off blood supply to these critical areas. If these vessels are already narrowed by age or plaque, you're creating a scenario for a silent stroke. Add in the fact that older adults often experience orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when standing, and you have a potent stroke cocktail. You've sat too long, raised your pressure while lowering blood flow, and then stood up too quickly. And it all begins with that simple act of scrolling on the toilet. How can you break this habit gently? First, make a firm rule. Leave your phone outside the bathroom. Make it a zero distraction zone. If needed, set a timer. If you're in there longer than 5 to 7 minutes, you're likely exceeding the safe limit. Second, focus on your posture. Sit upright, keeping your neck straight. If you absolutely must read, use printed material held at eye level, but ideally avoid reading at all.
This is a time for your body to eliminate, not for your mind to engage. Third, move after. Walk for 2 to 3 minutes immediately after using the toilet. This helps to reset circulation, improve brain oxygen, and normalize blood pressure. A study from Age and Aging found that a brief walk after sitting reduced stroke markers in older adults by over 30%. Finally, listen to your body. If you feel tingling in your legs, lightheadedness, or blurry vision after standing, these aren't minor issues. They are warnings from your body. Do not ignore them.
Habit number 1. Holding your breath while straining or standing up quickly. This habit is incredibly common, almost automatic for many older adults. Yet, it is deadly fast. Think about it. You go to stand up from the toilet, or you're perhaps struggling a little with balance, and instinctively, you brace yourself, holding your breath. That seemingly simple breath hold triggers a dangerous chain reaction inside your body, and for older adults, it can lead to a fatal brain event in mere seconds. This is known as the Valsalva maneuver, the medical term for bearing down or holding your breath during effort. While it's a natural reflex, it's extremely risky, especially in the bathroom. When you hold your breath, you trap pressure within your chest. This pressure immediately reduces the blood returning to your heart, which in turn lowers your cardiac output. Consequently, your brain doesn't receive the oxygen it needs. Then, suddenly, your body rebounds and overcompensates, causing your blood pressure to spike like a rocket. A study published in Clinical Cardiology showed that this maneuver, holding your breath during effort, can cause a systolic blood pressure surge of up to 90 millimeters of mercury instantly. It's like launching a grenade inside your arteries. If you have plaque, narrowing, or a weakened vessel wall, that sudden pressure burst can rupture it, and that's how a stroke can begin in seconds. Now, let's consider standing up quickly. For most older adults, particularly those with orthostatic hypotension, blood pressure already tends to drop the moment you stand up. Your body needs time to regulate, but when you hold your breath, stand up quickly, and perhaps strain all at the same time, you are activating every stroke trigger simultaneously. Your brain is hit with low oxygen, followed by massive pressure and then confusion. This is precisely when clots can form or vessels can burst. According to the British Journal of General Practice, older adults who regularly stand too quickly from seated positions, especially from the toilet, have a 2.5 times greater risk of stroke-related collapse or vascular injury. The combination of positional pressure shifts and breath holding truly creates the perfect storm, making this the #1 habit to address, and it happens every single day. Here's a less discussed aspect. Most older adults experience a loss of respiratory strength with age. Their diaphragm weakens and their lungs become stiffer. This often leads to holding their breath more frequently without even realizing it. Whether it's during wiping, reaching, straining, or standing, it becomes an unconscious reflex, but it is not harmless. It is deadly. So, how can we gently correct this habit? First, retrain your breathing. Practice exhaling slowly as you stand. Do not brace and hold your breath. Inhale deeply before you move, then exhale steadily during the effort. This helps to lower internal pressure and keeps oxygen flowing to your brain. Second, move slower. Rise from the toilet in stages. Pause after sitting, place your hands on your thighs, and exhale as you slowly stand. Use a grab bar if you need extra support. The American Stroke Association reports that older adults who stand slowly and breathe correctly can reduce their stroke risk by over 60%. That's a huge difference. Third, stay mindful. If you notice yourself holding your breath during any bathroom task, pause and reset. Sit back down if needed. Never push through dizziness or visual blackouts. These are your brain's urgent calls for oxygen. Finally, consider support devices. A raised toilet seat, a safety rail, or a toilet frame can make all the difference. If your muscles are weak, you're more likely to brace and hold your breath. By reducing the physical strain, you reduce the urge to clench. One last crucial point, check your medications. If you're on blood pressure medications or diuretics, you are even extra at risk. These medications lower your baseline pressure,
meaning that the spikes and drops become even more extreme. Talk to your doctor if you've experienced any fainting, lightheadedness, or head rushes after using the bathroom. These are definite red flags. This is why habit number 1 is so vital. It happens every day, it's often invisible and automatic, but it can be deadly. Holding your breath, rushing to stand, pushing through toilet tasks, this habit silently builds pressure until one day it hits hard. These 7 habits might seem small, but for older adults, they accumulate. Each one can nudge your body closer to a critical threshold, and when that threshold is crossed, a stroke can strike without warning or mercy. But you are not powerless. By simply changing these bathroom habits, you can profoundly influence your brain's future. Hydrate first, breathe steadily, slow down, clean smartly, and move with awareness. These aren't just hygiene routines. After age 65, they become rituals that can truly make a difference in your life. Now that you know this truth, let us ask you, have you ever felt dizzy, lightheaded, or experienced a moment of visual blackout in the bathroom? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might just help someone else. Don't forget to like this video if it has helped you, share it with a loved one over 60, and subscribe for more science-backed health tips that often go unmentioned. Your brain is worth protecting, even in the most routine moments of your day. If you have any questions or wish to share your own experiences, please feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching.